doom and gloom. Cast your gaze instead upon my fair fanged filly.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you. These boss men respect confidence, you know. And so what did he say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
When I saw a source hunter in the harbour, I thought for sure the ship would be saved. Mea culpa for putting faith in your kind. She was targeted by the Orc shaman during the attack, and now she's left to the ocean's cold embrace. We just couldn't get ahead of the flames with nothing but a few men and some buckets.
Damn those orcs for bringing fire into our harbour, and damn you for not lifting a finger to help extinguish it. She was targeted by the Orc shaman during the attack, and now she's...
When I saw a source hunter in the harbour, I thought for sure she was targeted.
Really? The greatest warriors in Rivellon can't cross a rope?
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature. No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
And don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do naught but look on. These bleeding orcs, I can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves. Well, we were merchants what seems like a moment ago. With our ship sunk, we're little more than free men with nothing more to say than boo. With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you could keep an eye out, though. Those souls are just as pressed for luck as we are now. A shame nothing could be done to save her.
He drove it straight to the pub and back. Sauce? Here in Sicil? Ah, of all that cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. The blaze was just too big for mere bucketfuls of water to subdue. A real shame, that. Madness. Thought we were done with those swampy uglies a fortnight ago. Note, though, that none of them dared to come close to the tide splitter.
Oh, and don't forget the time...
Sauce?
Here, in Sicil? Bah! Of all the cursed hunks of rock to...
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicil? Name's Conrad. Cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give old Conrad a holler when it comes to rare imports and magical items.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for a joyride?
No,
Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city where a great wizard resides. Though even I must admit they put up a hearty effort. I'll tell you, The only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that would be if whatever I sought was something worth dying over.
The odds of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! Knowing him, he drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note.
I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out the door.
Good on you. These boss men respect customers. So what do they say?
Well, what does it matter? Daylight was more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes. Honest pay for an honest day.
Halt! These gates are to remain closed at all times. Captain's orders. Wait a second. Well, I'll be a little red imp's uncle, the Source Hunter. Sorry for the gruff treatment. I didn't recognise you right away. Please tell me, how can I aid the investigation? You can see security's tighter than ever around here since that surprise attack the Orcs put on a fortnight ago. They did enough damage to shake up Ahu and Captain Aureus something fierce. We can only hope to hold back the undead and these left-field orc attacks long enough for reinforcements to arrive. I don't think you're quite ready to head out into the wilds to me. Also, a party of 1 or 2 runs the risk of being outflanked and outnumbered. I'll bring some backup if I were you. Of course, the choice is yours, but are you sure you want to venture out? Thank you for heeding my words of warning, Hunter. Cyseal needs you alive and well.
I swear I can hear that bleeding cheese merchant from here.
Moo-wee!
I can't even smell the sea air.
Curse
It's them rotten greenskins. Ate me parrot, Polly, feathers and all.
Good on you. These boss men respect companies, you know. So what do they say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Well, a source hunter. A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around. And don't mind if I pick your brain about the scoop around Undervale. I'm behind on my current affairs. This Jake business is quite the scandal, no? I myself suspect his wife Esmeralda, and the butcher seconds that, let me tell you. Then again, and you didn't hear this from me, he's going through quite the nasty divorce himself, and there's his children to consider. But I imagine his youngest, Kimberly, won't mind. Never did get on well with her mother ever since the incident. Oh, it's an unparalleled pleasure having a fresh ear around here. I tell you, this gig sure beats getting my toes bitten off by zombies out in the field. We warehouse guards don't have to do much apart from stroll the perimeter a few times an hour. And, of course, every now and again, some friendly folks, like yourself, will wander through here. And nothing beats a pleasant conversation, though my comrade Horatius has quite different opinions on that matter. Have you talked to him? Thinks every man, woman and child who steps foot in this place wants to rob it blind. If I so much as greet a townsperson with a hello instead of a state your purpose, he starts frothing on and on about guardly duty and security breaches.
Keep your pleasantries to yourself. What are you doing inside this warehouse, snooping around? If it's conversation you're looking for, I'd recommend my comrade Florius, or as I prefer to call him, Loose Lips. As for myself, my job is to protect this warehouse, not chit-chat with intruders. That idiot man-child would sooner spend an hour chatting up a thief than a minute arresting him. I only hope he gets transferred out of this warehouse and straight to the perimeter. Let him rot off as zombies here instead of mine. Even thinking of him turns one into a gabbing hen. Please, leave me be.
Well, a source hunter. About time the council took us seriously. Maybe you can start with the two idiots hiding their pet orc here.
Who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orcs are predators, not pets?
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile, but my prejudiced friend here still wants to kill her. My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? For a brief second, as long as eternity, we locked eyes. Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword and instead adroitly fling my pouch of trinkets towards her. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, she became instantly enamored. I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady with such a sweetly savage manner would never willingly join up with those vicious marauders.
You'll show 'em all.
I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's telling when she'll escape and who she'll rip to shreds? Maybe before the Great Orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our posts. I can hardly believe I've been wasting time protecting an orc when I should be running them through.
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite some time now. It makes him a bit edgy.
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. I'll take my chances as a bachelor, thanks.
Ah, I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read in an esteemed periodical from the Wizards of Youthful Gore about an amazing opportunity that could change my life, I had to act fast or lose the once-in-a-lifetime deal. I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and it has worked exactly as promised.
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake oil and bringing a temporarily tranquilized monster into our midst to boot.
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement? I'm sure the effects of the potion will be everlasting, as printed.
You see, he'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him, or ditch reason and use your sword to shave him from his murderous darling.
Agreed. I've never met an orc I trusted, charmed or not.
Glad to hear I'm not the only one with common sense around here. I'll do the honors myself.
No! She's harmless! Please! You bastard! You had no right!
No right to protect not only you from your own stupidity, but myself and the citizens of Syceel as well.
It's you we need protection from, murderer. Fortunately, the Wizards of Youthful Gore make a revenge elixir that will show you what's what.
Go ahead and throw your sugar water on me if you like. Your foolishness is no longer my problem. Thank you, stranger. If you ever need help, I'll do my best to repay you.
This place reeks of orc stench.
Report!
Nothing to report, sir.
You never have anything to report.
Isn't that a good thing?
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Curtius, proud protector of this house of Legion goods. Curtius is my name. The Legion is my calling. This is a storing house for Legion supplies. Perhaps the most important building in the realm, by my and others' estimation. And I, Sergeant Curtius, have been trusted to guard it.
be quite a bit better if I could do it in peace.
Just making conversation, mate.
I can't even smell the sea air over this rot.
I should have done this from the very start.
Know much about zombies, do you? How about walking bones?
A drink and gamble. That's all we do around here. I hope you fare better, Source Hunter.
Better to evacuate this place while there's still some left to save, I say. Go while the going's good.
Appears to be locked.
I've spotted something interesting.
I've got my eyes on the prize. Looks like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Seal itself. They don't write epics about morticians, but I'm proud of my work nonetheless. Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many laid low by the orcs and such like. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace. How do you... Ah, the ledger, is it? Fool was I to leave it in the open. Or perhaps I even looked forward to being found out. Well, as you know, I have my suspects in the matter. What would you like to know? Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I noticed anything strange or suspicious about the remains. Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble, unless he knew something the rest of us don't. I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary, and there was something about her that night, some kind of excitement. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts, that there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional would have such a strange reaction to an occasion such as that. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole, but her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he wanted it for, but he sure seemed eager. I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband, and I've seen hundreds pass through my parlor. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched, lured me outside claiming she needed air, before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome Esmeralda. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it. Well, with all the troubles plaguing Seal, I suppose us natives ought to put our finest feet forward. Here, take the gold, and give it to someone who actually deserves it. We'll have none of that, you hear?
And now a stern chastisement in 3, 2...
Look, there's no need for all that. Take the gold then, and we'll call the rest even, okay? Hey, stop that!
Oh, it goes to and fro, the city's youth. They hustle and bustle, while I sit here stagnantly and watch it all go by.
Here lies Jared. Shall I come back as an enraged spirit, or a lovable prankster
I don't have the right
ghost?
tool for digging. I don't have the right tool for digging.
Here lies Patrick. You can kill me, but you'll never kill the dancer inside me. Here lies Gregory, whose wife told him so. Here lies Judith, warrior princess. Here lies Neil, killed in the line of duty. I want to go home. Here lies Catherine. I know, I was great.
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
Here
May
lies
the
Jack,
seven keep
the
you.
oldest man in Sicil. Get off my grave, you jackanapes.
May the seven keep you.
Here lies James, as usual, the filthy fibber. Here lies Kavanagh. Will they have Sicil pie in the afterlife? Here lies Jake. Please do not disturb.
What trickery is this? That's not Jake.
It's a rotting sheep's corpse. It seems someone snatched Jake's body.
Peace, darling.
Healer!
I will melt the flesh from your bones. Back on your feet, soldier!
Everything we do seems to fortify your abilities. There's no experience to be won from pestering me with vapid flattery.
Here lies David, who ran from the Reaper. You'll never catch me alive.
That shovel has proven worth its weight, it seems. Oh, for the seven's sake. Those shining eyes are better fit for a puppy than a source hunter.
Look here, even a sage and author as renowned as I is flattered when mortals dare among the dead to seek him out. Well, here I am, Nemeris the Wise. You may go wide-eyed with amazement now. Oh, I've written so many celebrated treatises, but of course you have read and revered the philosophy of death, the diamond in the crown that is my literary legacy. There isn't a civilized soul alive that hasn't perused its profound pages percolating with perspicacity. Alas, that so few show an understanding of my words, so few show the expected intellectual growth when I put them to the test. You can, and indeed you must. But alas, I was not buried with a printed version of that blueprint of genius that is my inimitably esteemed essay. Never fear, though, for each and every library in Revellon boasts a copy, the gilded cherry on their paper pie. As if I need introduction. Nemeris the thinker, the theorist, the visionary. Come now, surely you lack the time, as I do, for such silly questions. Do you truly feel you are ready to prove that you have read and understood the philosophy of death? Your refusal speaks greater volumes than my 10-part tome on the mating behavior of feral dwarves. You dread the test. You fear it.
In memory of Loni, death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
I'm fading. Fast.
The seven call me home.
Seven, aid me!
I'm dying.
Look, there's no...
That doesn't belong to us, you know. Well put. Hunting out Source is no easy job, and we need all the help we can get our...
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death?
dear me. Oh, how the coast reminds me of my long-fled youth. I sailed the seas. I walked the worlds.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear. Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Let's see. Halibut.
True enough. Without a bit of charity now and then, the world would be a far crueler place.
That's the spirit! Or should I say, the soul?
Sir, did you just steal that fish?
No, I paid for it. The merchant just left, but I paid. I paid before.
You were a witness to this event now? Tell me what happened.
Simply shocking the way he so blatantly lies.
What kind of monster are you? You encouraged me to take the fish and then throw me to the wolves. Curse you!
Come along quietly. You did the crime, sir, and the sentence is yours alone.
In their mouldy boots.
You! Hypocrites and traitors! I thought sorcerers were supposed to help the people, not lure them into crime and punishment.
Then a slice of this fine Gorman there.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the cousins. Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sicilia's ever seen.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens.
Not in the mood for cheese. Their excuse is more holes than the size of this fine Gorman there.
Aim straight, aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sicilia's ever seen.
Not in the mood for cheese. Their excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman there.
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? The hero the whole of Sicil is abuzz about. The talk of the town. The juiciest grape on the grapevine. Such a pleasure to meet you. A delight.
So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly?
Oh, thank you to leave me be.
Oh, you think you can sneak that way to a... Well, suffice to say it, I've got...
No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Fate has put me on this very spot so I may tell you all about a most intriguing opportunity indeed. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? I saved lives, to be sure, but today I change them. They call the undead a problem, my friend, but those who know the ways of the Fabulous Five see no problems. They see opportunities. An enterprising spirit can wrench riches from cold dead rocks, or from cold dead full stop. Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better, to become the full extent of the promise that is locked inside of each and every one of us. So first of all, let me ask you this question. Do you like adventure?
Join the Spud Club if you got a
Quite right. Adventure is what we live for.
See here, you and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path, the rush of finding yourself in a goblin ambush, knowing you'll prevail nonetheless.
So you're just hanging around again.
Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier. Now, between you and me, tell me truthfully, don't you sometimes wish you could earn more?
Yes, some extra gold is always welcome.
Indeed. Indeed, gold is always welcome. And among the Fabulous Five, gold flows as freely as water does to the sea. Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right? All those orders. Investigate this, retrieve that, and at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? Wouldn't you prefer to call your own shots? Be your own boss?
Better to be served than to serve, I concur.
Well spoken. Well said indeed. Life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding, am I right? Of course I am. And I could help you attain the dream, enact the change you deserve. And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab, so that I could meet you and tell you about the marvel that is the Fabulous Five. The invitation to join is yours. Grab it. Ah, the Fabulous Five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers' guild in Riverlon. Our mission, to better the world. Our mantra, to better ourselves as we do so. To realize our dreams and cleanse our souls. You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still have questions, I shall answer them to the best of my abilities. But if not, how about we get started? What a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow, sharp as a switchblade. Most meritorious of you. Now then, To join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of Knight is bestowed upon you the moment you sign our waiver, and so it all begins. I shall be the one to give you your first contracts, and once the job is done, I shall see to it you get your fair share of the reward. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five and thereby draw new knights into our fellowship, you will get a share of the reward from their contracts too. Isn't that wonderful? By now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say fellowship? I mean family. For like a family, we support one another, cheer one another, see each other through thick and thin, partake in glory and defeat. Work hard, fulfill contracts, enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. You will better yourself. You will better Rivellon. You will make the stars shine all the brighter, and you'll get fabulously wealthy in the process. What's not to like?
I've got my eye on you, Baron. I am a duke for
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a smack of. Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match one short way.
The sun is out. Yet,
Waiting for what? I'll thank you to leave me be, you old rat.
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
Peace be with you, traveller. May your lost loved ones rest in peace. I once lived a prosperous life with my husband and our happy little daughter, Loni. But when the undead plague broke out, my dear husband was among the first killed. Loni never recovered from the loss, and when a group of mercenaries, predators, more aptly called, came to town dangling the opportunity to annihilate those undead devils, Loni lapped up their rhetoric and joined without so much as a backward glance. She was killed less than a week after she joined. Here she lies, and here I stand, mourning the death of my last joy. Back from there, savage! I'll not let you disturb my daughter's peace.
In memory of Loni, death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
with sprout legs and